Brighter Beats Podcast 1 pretends like the Star Wars intro is playing right now. So just to set the mood, I'm currently under a blanket because I don't know how to do sound. So I'm recording on my iPhone 5, which I got 6 months ago. Until then, I had pretty much a flip phone because I'm that high tech. But yeah, I'm recording on this. I would be doing a video, but I'm also like half dressed. When people say they don't wear pants, I think they're lying. And like, I literally don't wear pants or a bra. And like, I feel like people just say that. And like, I really just don't. Like, big t-shirts are basically my life. It's kind of ridiculous. And then like, I post, pictures of nice clothes. And like, I might have just like put that on for the picture. Like, the majority of the time I look pretty gross and like homeless. It's awesome. So yeah, that's the current state of my Friday night. I spent most of it at Chuck E. Cheese because I'm that cool. It reminded me of that time Michael Scott said little kid lover on his dating profile. He's like, I want them to know I love kids. Like, Michael, you sound like a pedophile. I don't know. Everything makes me think of The Office. I should get into this. Into this podcast. So I wanted to talk about the state of the music industry, or rather, some things I've noticed in the past week with some larger bands, and then relating it to our genre and why our genre basically rocks. So yeah, here we go. No surprise, I'm going to talk about One Direction because it only seems right, and I'm also going to talk about 5 Seconds of Summer. So 5 Seconds of Summer signed this band called Hey Violet on the record label they just started. And I was like digging for information about this band and why they had signed them. There's like nothing. They have like a music video and they have like one original song, and maybe they made them take down their music because they signed them, but like I can't find anything. Like, how do you know a band is that good just from covers? Like, I just don't think we should encourage the cover band goes viral situation. I think that there's some merit to those bands that have talent, but they usually have out an EP or something that shows their strengths. But like, just getting big because of like one song, like, you just have no idea what they can do vocally, instrumentally, lyrically from that one thing, especially if it's a cover. Like, what if they can't write? Like, what? I don't know. It confused me. So then I was thinking about One Direction, and I don't want to say they're going downhill right now, but they're certainly not going uphill as Zayn left the band. But at the same time, I wasn't surprised. And do you want to know why? It's because they were literally crafted. So, like, imagine the Powerpuff Girls when they were crafted by the Science Mr. Man thing. Sugar and spice and everything nice. So imagine Simon Cowell taking 5 boys, creating a boy band because it fit the market well, and then throwing them out into the world with little to no experience. Did they do good with being thrown into that situation? Yeah, they did. Did they miss a lot and had maybe a lot more potential separately, or if they had taken time to be normal people? Yeah. And why is that? Okay, they were thrown onto a tour bus, first of all. I just don't think you're going to get to know your band members as well on a tour bus as you would have in a van, which is what, most artists, bands have to do, is live together on a van and experience life in very close quarters, at least for, their start. And I think that they miss that. And I think a lot of artists miss that when they just kind of blow up and they miss this fellowship with their crew, with their fans, that interaction, that appreciation, because they were just thrown into it. And I think that has a lot to do with, I'm not going to say the members weren't close to them. They had to be. But what I'm saying is they still lost, something in their experience. And also, I think writing your own music is a really big thing. I mean, it's something I really appreciate looking at, the credits on an album and seeing who wrote what, in the band. I always found it fascinating how, like, Kyle from Real Friends writes a good bit of their music. And you can tell, I don't think like the lead singer loses anything when he's singing something the other members of his band wrote, because I think that, the band as a whole agrees on it. But you can just, I always like when Kyle talks, because I can just tell, he knows why he wrote that song and what it means to him. I think that's so cool. And so I think with, an artist as huge as One Direction, or any mainstream artist who doesn't write their own music, or not all of their own music, they lose that, sense of owning their art, sense of pride in their art. And I think, that's got to be exhausting, night after night singing a song you didn't write. I mean, sure, it can mean something to you, but you just lose, some sort of integrity there. And I just don't encourage not writing your own music as an artist. I understand getting help to write musically and lyrically, because it's not an easy thing, but it just means so much more when you write your own art, because then you can be proud of it and watch it grow. So that's something I wanted to say. And I honestly think our genre does a great job of making bands work. Bands that put out multiple EPs before finally creating this album that really showcases their strengths, and then moving on from that and touring and, taking whatever shows they can get. I always think about A Day to Remember, especially now that Common Courtesy came out, and, they just have this theme of talking about the band's early years, being on a van, breaking down, playing, crappy shows. Same thing with the Wonder Years, playing shows in basements, just getting to know, the other bands they were touring with, and, just these weird experiences you have when you're, a local band going on tour, seeing the country for the first time, bonding with your members, really writing about what you're living through, being relevant and relatable, because you're, living this life that, so many other kids your age are living and experiencing in the same society. And when you're in an entirely different class, you just can't write like that, because you're just not having the same experiences. And I think that's something that's really cool about our genre, and something I hope we never lose, is just that relatability and relevancy to other people's lives. I also wanted to, give some credit to bands that promote on Warped Tour. It just felt like the right venue to do that. I asked people to tweet me bands that had promoted to them on Warped Tour. So I got Set It Off, which is now headlining a tour, the Glamour Kills tour. So check that out. There's some dates left. I got Take a Breath, and they're based in Pittsburgh. And I mean, they're more of a local band, but it seems like they're doing some pretty cool things. So I would hop on that now. And then I got Mayday Parade, this is just something I was thinking of. Mayday Parade, who, always talks about how, or not always, but at least on the last Warped Tour they played, they talked about how they used to promote on that. They used to promote to the lines, and now they're playing, a huge stage at the end of the day to all these kids, and just the progress that, they had to go through, the work that they had to put into their music to get to that place, and just that you earned it, and they know that they earned it, and so they can have pride in that. And I just think that's so important. I also got 7 Minutes in Heaven, so I wanted to give, a little shout out to Timmy. Ew, gross. But no, okay, the kid literally took, not that doing merch is bad, God, I wish I could just do merch and travel the country, but he took a job, selling merch for a band, maybe not necessarily in his genre, on a pretty big tour, because he knew it would be networking. He knew it would give him opportunities to meet people and kind of, promote his music and just have experiences he wouldn't have otherwise. Even, though his music had the same potential it has now to really, hopefully be something big. And he went from that and just being kind of one person creating music to having permanent members to, opening for Metro Station on a tour that's hitting the West Coast very soon. I mean, that's a huge progress, and it's a huge humbling experience, but it's something completely necessary in this genre, because it really just, it holds on to the integrity of the music industry. And I think that that's something I don't like about mainstream. And I think, mainstream might just get a lot of crap for the lyrics and the beats or whatever, but I think that there's something else about it that we don't like, if you can relate to this message at all. And it's just that there's not as much integrity. They're not maybe writing their own music. They're not maybe having the same life experiences as us. And there's a reason why we don't connect with that and we connect with this, with, pop punk or punk rock, or I don't know what you want to call it, freaking post-hardcore, whatever the heck it is. It's music. It's our music. And there's a reason why we're drawn to that. And I think that we should really be appreciative of that and make sure that we continue to promote integrity, promote hard work, promote, living out of a van for the first few years, promote taking any show you can get, promote selling, your own merch, shipping your own merch, just keeping that really personal interaction with your fans in the early years, because if you do get big, you're going to lose that, but at least you had it at one point and you can know what it's like to get back to that or know what it's like to miss it and, continue to want to stay like that even as you grow. I just think that's so important. So, okay, I think I've covered everything. I've recorded this so many times because, I didn't want it to be too long, so I did my best. As far as Brighter Beats goes, we probably have some pretty cool interviews coming up on some spring tours, so be on the lookout for that. And then I might be switching review formats to video. I'm going to see how that works with Kylie and me and that kind of thing. Because I know it's hard for people to read reviews. I love doing reviews. It's, I think a lot of reviews that you're exposed to end up being really short and just kind of having quotes from the artist, and that makes it a review. But I really want to give in-depth reviews, showing why you should listen to an album and why you should buy it, because I really want to encourage that. So if switching to video reviews, helps, then that's something we're going to do. And I guess I'll end with a fun story because, I don't know how else to do an outro. So I keep talking about how I broke my nose because I'm going to be seeing Man Overboard this coming week. And the first time I saw Man Overboard at the same venue, I actually hit my nose on the barricade. I don't know that I broke it then, but it was pretty screwed up. I mean, it was, dented. And then I saw Issues on Warped a few months later. And so I'm in the pit because that's what I do. And I get kicked in the face or something. I don't really know what happened. And not someone fell on me. I think someone, put their leg up that high. Okay, I'm pretty short. But they put their leg up to my face and I broke my nose. And I didn't know how to tell my parents because I still live at home because I'm not trying to pay rent. And I didn't know how to be I broke my nose in a crowd because I'm not going to get cred from them. They're going to be what? You need to settle down, or stop going to shows. So I told them that I sneezed while brushing my teeth and hit my nose on the sink. And they believe me because that's where my life is at. Yep.